What's going on, y'all? It's your boy GP, and you're rocking with me on the AquaMethod Podcast. And today I have a very special guest, the first guest to show up at the show on time. She showed up when I showed up. My very good friend, Miss Lizzie Hill. How you doing, Lizzie?
Hi, Glenn.
Well, I've known Lizzie when I started at the station, at the local station I currently work at, and she was a reporter there. She is no longer a reporter. What you doing now, Liz?
I am a personal trainer. So I am training people, doing personal training sessions. I teach a few classes at a couple local gyms in town.
Okay, so you don't have a specific corporation or anything you work for? You just
No.
Okay.
I work for just a couple local gyms.
That's dope.
An independent contractor.
That's cool. A freelancer.
Yeah.
Cool.
I have a couple clients. I go to their house and train them, and so.
I mean, you've always been very fit, but I've seen you you had your workout gear on, and so how's that going?
Good.
Yeah.
Good. You mean like my personal fitness?
Yeah.
It's good. I've definitely gotten stronger.
Because I think
I've had more time to devote to it.
Since we've last talked, since we last saw each other, I've developed a little bit of a pot belly.
Oh no!
Yeah. Last time my mom saw me, she said, "You look like you got a beer belly." I'm like, gotta get to work. Gotta get
when
to
your
work.
mom says something.
Yeah, it's bad.
You know it's bad, yeah.
But funny story about Lizzie. When I had known her for about a year and some change. I've been at the station for a little while, and Lizzie invited everybody to her house for a house party, and some alcoholic beverages were consumed. And at some point, Eazy-E's Boys in the Hood came on Lizzie's speaker, and she started rapping it, and I thought it was dope. And I'm like, this girl's fantastic. She knows Eazy-E's lyrics. And
all the words.
Yeah, that was dope, man. That was awesome.
I forgot about that, yeah.
So, did you see Straight Outta Compton?
I did, yeah. I saw it last weekend.
What you thought of it?
I thought it was great.
I thought it was awesome.
It was a powerful movie, for sure. What really struck me was I didn't realize how quickly they broke up.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that, like, right after the first album, that Ice Cube was just like, all right, peace.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was that quick.
Mm-hmm.
So.
I saw there was Behind the Music, VH1 did a Behind the Music, and VH1 also did a separate documentary called The World's Most Dangerous Group.
Oh, and, I remember that.
And it detailed all that. So because I'm fascinated about hip-hop.
Yeah.
As a whole. So I wanted to know everything about them long before the movie came out. And I didn't think the movie was going to ever come out.
Really?
Because of Dr. Dre.
Right.
He's been working on Detox for 50 years. And Ice Cube. But I just didn't think. And Ice Cube's always doing movies anyway.
Yeah.
So I just didn't think it would ever show up. But they actually got it done. And it actually came out. And based on what I had known about NWA, all the little nuances and everything that was in it, I was fascinated by it. They put a lot of stuff in there.
Yeah.
And
I was pretty fascinated by that too.
Any complaints? Anything you wish they would have?
Not really. I feel like they did almost, and I read a few critiques and criticisms about this too. Like, I mean, and you have to understand, since it was produced by Dr. Dre and Ice Cube. Right. I mean, obviously they're gonna shed the most favorable light on themselves.
Right.
So I think in that sense, it was a little kind of toned down in terms of like really how rowdy they were. Yeah. And and I read some stuff recently about some of the past like issues with Dr. Dre and like some abuse of women and stuff like that. And I mean, obviously that's not going to be in a movie, but I do think when it comes to just the genre, it's kind of an important part of it.
Yeah. My only complaints was that they didn't have enough MC Ren in it.
Yeah.
He was almost forgotten. And he got mad about that.
Really?
Yeah, because way before the movie came out, there was when they started putting out the promos and the trailers for it. It was Eazy-E, Ice Cube, Dr. Dre.
Yeah.
DJ Yeller wasn't really worried about it.
Yeah.
But MC Ren voiced his displeasure with it, saying that I was a co-writer. I wrote most of these things too with Ice Cube.
He was a significant part.
Yeah, so he was upset about it. He took to Twitter, as many do now.
Right.
And he's like, I don't know how you feel about that. Like, at a certain point, you shouldn't be complaining on Twitter.
Right.
He's pushing 50.
Yeah.
It's
kind of a little lame.
But I mean, I can understand, like, if he was a part of it, you was a major part of it, you was 1/5 of it. It's not like you was HWA or some side group.
Right.
He was actually in the group.
Yeah.
And his character wasn't in there too much, not enough for me. Yeah. But what I did like, they didn't mention too much of the World Class Wrecking Crew, Dr. Dre and DJ Yella's group before, but they showed them having the shiny suits.
Yeah,
and I think I took it as a nod to that.
Right.
Even though they wouldn't mention it, they like showed them having the shiny suits.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert. Stuff like that. Before, if you didn't see
Spoiler, Eazy dies in the end.
Yeah.
That's one thing I thought was really cool was I have always, I mean, just in listening to the music and stuff, have always kind of had Eazy-E in my head as just this like really nasty, like down and dirty guy who's just not like the greatest guy ever. But like it actually seems like he was one of the most well liked, business savvy, smart, just like really had his stuff together, which I thought was really pretty cool.
Apparently, he started sleeping with women at 13.
Yeah. I knew about all that. I knew how promiscuous he was.
And had 6 kids by 7 women.
Yeah.
Didn't know that.
Yeah.
I thought I knew about 4 of them.
Oh, okay. I didn't know like the exact number, but I knew it was.
He was a wild man. I mean, like if you're a rock star, you know.
Oh, well, exactly, yeah.
It's part of the course.
Yeah, but he was actually like a nice guy.
Yeah,
you wouldn't like sometimes I feel like guys like that you wouldn't expect them to be.
Yeah, he was cool.
You know, and I kind of wish he had actually gone through with killing Suge Knight. Like, can you imagine if he had?
A lot of things would have been different.
I know, right?
A lot of things would have been different.
Yeah.
There's a lot of conspiracy theorists think that that Suge had something to do with Tupac passing.
Right, yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't believe it. It's possible.
I thought that was a really accurate portrayal.
Right. They made him a villain, and he was the actor.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't remember his name.
Yeah,
but he was fantastic.
Yeah, he did a good job.
Yeah.
And yeah, I didn't realize what I thought was also really interesting was when Dre like essentially broke up with Death Row. I did not realize that whole thing, and then when he broke up and just said, "I don't care. Like you can have." The Chronic, you can have my money, my music, whatever.
Right.
And I wonder, like, do you know now if, like, that was ever resolved? Like, if he ever ended up
I'm pretty sure he did. I'm pretty sure he got a piece of it back. I'm pretty sure.
He probably had to buy it.
Yeah.
But, I mean, he's a billionaire, so, you know.
Yeah. That and, I don't, like, with Suge's criminal history, I'm sure that, like, a lot of stuff was made available.
That's true, yeah.
You know?
That's a good point. I didn't think about that.
But, yeah, he was a villain.
Yeah.
He was a villain. But
big time.
The worst part of the movie for me was a movie-going experience.
Really?
Because I went, and there was just so much talking. In the
movie
I hate
know.
that.
We went on Sunday afternoon at 12:30.
Where you go?
So there was nobody there.
You went to the 14?
On Clislam, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. And there was nobody there. It was great.
See, I thought
I don't like crowded movies.
Yeah. I thought like if I went early, it wouldn't be a problem.
Yeah.
There wouldn't be no texting, no Facebooking.
Yeah.
There would be talking, but not as much.
Yeah.
This guy behind me was with his girlfriend, and he wanted to impress his girlfriend with his knowledge of NWA.
Oh my gosh.
So every scene that popped up was like, yeah, this is when Eazy-E.
It's like, let her watch the movie.
Yeah, let me watch the movie.
Yeah, and you.
Explain it to your girl. After the movie, and by the way, it's a true story.
Yeah.
So you can research it. You know?
It was like a sing-along for me. My husband was laughing.
That's dope.
Just singing along.
That's awesome.
You know? And I find it fascinating too, just the whole, police brutality, social justice piece of it. I thought they did a really good job.
Now, do you think it was coincidence that they put it out?
That's a good question. It's obviously still but that's the thing is it's still something that's been going on. Mm-hmm. It's not like it stopped after NWA and then picked back up. Like it's something that's just been going on forever.
Yeah.
It's just recently, society kind of goes in these waves when it comes to issues of social justice and, what they're paying attention to.
Do you think that, I think it's like a bandwagon, like we're getting on this. I think it's happening a lot. Mm-hmm. I think it's always happened a lot.
Right.
But we didn't talk about it as much. But when one news station starts talking about it, everybody needs a police brutality story.
Or when one activist talks about it and like really kind of like brings it back up and that sort of thing. That's what I'm saying. Like I think it's sort of cyclical. Like there is these waves of social activism that we kind of ride. Mm-hmm. Periods of change and things like that. Just like, the 60s civil rights movement.
Yeah. But yeah, I thought it was a fantastic movie.
I did too. I thought it was great.
And but outside of that, so what have you and the husband been going up to?
Oh, what have we been up to?
He said he's on a trip right now.
He is. He's with his buddies. They're on a guys trip. Guys beach trip.
That's awesome.
And it was funny. So, he's 30 and all his friends are, 30, 31. Mm-hmm. Most of them are married, not all of them, but most of them have serious girlfriends.
Right.
A few of them have kids, and they were discussing provisions for the trip. Alcohol. One of their friends is a manager owner of a bar in Baton Rouge. And so he was like, well, I can get us all the booze we want,
dope,
whatever.
That's awesome.
And so they're sitting there negotiating how much they need, and they're sitting there going, oh, I don't think we'll really need that much. And one of them points out, my 22-year-old self would hate to hear what my 30-year-old self is saying, So it's funny. I like that he has this really, really tight group of friends that he's had, a lot of them since high school. So it's nice that they can still, go out and do these guys trips and have fun. I think that's really neat. I don't have a group of friends quite like that, so I think to see him, I think it's neat.
I feel like I used to, but like time goes on, people separate, and that's just natural. That's just what happens. Yeah. But before you and your husband, can I say his name?
Yeah.
John. Before y'all got married, and you was dating Lizzie, dating age. I guess was emojis a thing back then?
No.
I'm sorry. No diss. But how long you been married?
For like a year, a little over a year.
But you've known him for a long time.
Yeah, since 2008.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to ask a woman how she feels about men using emojis.
Emojis?
I think we shouldn't use emojis. I think it's for women and for children. Yes.
See, we use them when we text, but we do silly stuff.
Right.
Like the emoji that's just the eyeballs,
the
side eye. Yeah. We don't see each other that. Because that's our dogs give us side eye all the time. So,
oh, yeah? Oh, really?
Yeah.
Why do you think they do that?
They're very judgmental.
Yeah?
Yeah. We talk for our dogs, and they have accents and
that's awesome.
Voices and everything.
You have 2 dogs.
Yeah.
2 large horse-sized dogs.
Yes, horse-sized dogs. Yeah.
And so what's the accents?
Oh, you can't put me on the spot.
I mean, like, describe
I'm trying to think. Bo is like sort of, they're both sort of these like, European.
Awesome.
Artistic, like smoking a lot of cigarettes and drinking wine and just, that's kind of, and just very judgmental and sassy.
Yeah, okay. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So are you on Twitter a lot?
No.
No?
I'm not. Twitter was just one of those things I never really could, commit to.
Really? Why? What's that?
I don't know. Facebook and Instagram are enough for me.
Yeah.
Twitter's just too much. It's just too much information. I think it's great, though.
Yeah.
I totally see the value of it from a news perspective.
Yeah.
When I was working in news, doing breaking news, anything like that, oh my God, incredibly valuable. But I think for day-to-day stuff, it's just too much.
How you watch the show frequently? The news broadcast that we put on. Do you watch it a lot since you left?
Not as much. No, not a whole lot.
Okay.
Not a whole lot. A few times a week, though.
Okay, that's cool.
Either the morning or the evening.
Check in on us.
Yeah, for sure.
How was I as a floor director?
You were good.
Yeah?
Yeah. You were quiet, but, stern and strict.
I appreciate it.
I always appreciated when we weren't listening and you would step up and tell us to shut up and listen,
They don't listen.
Because you have to do that as a floor director. You have to. I mean, when the talent's not listening, you have to.
I'm babysitting the adults.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
how I feel.
Yeah.
I like it.
You
though.
are. Yeah.
I like that part of the job, but sometimes. Shut up.
Yeah.
Listen.
A lot of shenanigans.
Yeah.
You guys, just the whole production crew in general, doesn't get enough credit. Because you guys really
I appreciate that.
Put up with a lot.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. And I was you'll find this interesting. I was meeting with a couple people recently at the gym, and one of them said to her husband, the husband said to her, "Oh, she used to be on TV." And I said, "Yeah, I sure did. I was on the news and blah, blah, blah." And I said, told her what I did, and I said, I hope I wasn't annoying on the news or anything. I kind of laughed, and she was like, oh no. She's like, and she just went on to like say, oh, some of them just can't read and just can't read what's just written on the screen and all this. And oh, when the theater shooting happened, and oh, they just couldn't talk, and you know, the anchor just kept saying this, and I said. And I got kind of defensive because I know what a breaking news situation like that is like. And it's incredibly difficult, incredibly stressful,
everybody's running around.
Very tense, scary, everything. You don't know what's going on. You were just put right on the spot for a live shot. And you got to get the facts. And sometimes, like for instance, for the main anchor in the studio, they're just broadcasting live with no interruption, no script. I told these people, I said, there was nothing on that teleprompter. I said, he was going off the top of his head. Just talking, just trying to give people the facts. So yes, he repeated himself. But that's what you have to do in that situation because people are just tuning in and they want to know and they want to be updated. And
that's not just local news.
No, that's anybody. And I always find that I always get a little defensive when people hate on, you know, or criticize what news people do because they just don't realize how difficult it is. And I was laughing. Our meteorologist had posted something about how people complain that they can't. Meteorologists can't predict the weather, you know, for the next day. Yet they want to know about a hurricane that's 8 days and 3,000 miles out. You know, so I always come to the defense of the reporters and meteorologists when people.
That's good because
people criticize because I've been there. I know the behind the scenes, and I think a lot of people just don't realize it.
No. They don't know how.
And a lot of people do, and frankly, a lot of people don't care. No. You know, they don't really care. But some people, you tell them, and they're like, "Oh, well, I guess okay."
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. A lot of people, they like. I don't think anybody in any institution cares about how something gets done as long as it gets done.
And that's true. Yeah, that's a good point.
You know, they don't care about the hard work that goes into it. Yeah. I get defensive when people say, like if they don't just outright say it, they allude to it, like getting a broadcasting degree was a mistake. Yeah. So many people say like
really? Yeah. Like people actually with broadcasting degrees say that?
Yes.
Really? Huh.
And
that's interesting.
Breaks my heart.
Yeah.
Like, I mean.
Well, and I think a lot of that comes from just the fact that it is so difficult and it's so difficult to work up to that really top tier. Yeah. And it can break you. Yeah. You know, you're making very little money at these lower, you know, Lafayette's considered a small market, even though we put on a pretty great product here. You know, it's still considered a small market, and the pay is it's barely livable. Yeah. You know, in front of and behind the camera. Yeah. No. You know, so it's a tough industry. And I always, you know, it's the people that are really passionate about it that, you know, make it to the top. And then you have people like me that just lose their passion for it, which is, I think, is fine. I mean, you know, I think it happens. You know.
But what brought you to that point?
I don't know. I think it was just kind of a combination of factors. I just kind of realized I wasn't really, like when breaking news type events would happen, while it was exciting and I wanted to help out, like getting information to people, it was very stressful to me. And those weren't moments that I lived for. Like some reporters live for those moments. I wouldn't say that I lived for those moments.
What were your favorite times?
I like to do the features. The health stories, things like that. I did enjoy, you know, reporting on some breaking news, like from the studio, on our morning show. Some of that was really exciting and very just, you know, moving, like big events, like the Aurora, Colorado, you know, that theater shooting. What was it? Hurricane Isaac, I think, was the one that was in our time the last few years. I think.
I was in that one.
Yeah. That was the one that hit New Orleans pretty bad a few years ago. But yeah, so some of those moments were really great. But really, it was the stories about people that I got to tell. Yeah, that was the most touching and most meaningful, really.
Yeah, and you was good at it. You was great at it.
Well, thank you.
You was one of my favorite. You were one of my favorite people that was there at the time.
Yeah.
And then you left.
I'm sorry. Yeah. I know.
You gotta do what you gotta do, though. Yeah. You gotta be happy. Happiness is the most important thing.
Yeah, I know. People ask if I ran into a couple of our other coworkers at the vet the other day, and they said, "Do you miss it?" And everybody says, "Do you miss it?" And I always say no. I miss the people. I miss you guys, but I don't miss
The job.
I don't miss the job itself. I'm much less stressed now.
Yeah. And you're doing something, I mean, you always like to do it, though.
Yeah, yeah.
I really liked those packages that you made.
Yeah.
The health beat.
Yeah.
That was really cool.
Those were definitely the most rewarding. Mm-hmm. And that really helped me realize what I was really passionate about, too. So, with the health and fitness and all that.
Is there a chance you might get back into it if somebody gave you an opportunity somewhere else?
Probably not.
No?
No.
Okay. All right. Is there you're just done with it? You're just
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
I think so. I think it'd be cool to maybe one day be able to do, like if the morning show wanted to do a fitness segment or something like that. I think that would be something I would be open to. Given my background in television, but then my new career, it kind of fits. And
you ever thought about making it like your own show?
Not really.
No?
You mean like an exercise show?
Yeah, why not? Why not?
Oh,
because there's there's 100 of them on YouTube.
That's true. Oh, that's true. Yeah. I know. I'm trying to get better at like the social media kind of like marketing thing, like posting video. I post a lot of food pictures.
Okay.
I'm pretty good about that. I post a lot of food. I do have a little blog. I don't have that many posts, but I'm still trying to kind of get into it because I do like writing. Mm-hmm. I like to write a lot. But I write for like a local magazine once a month here too. So I enjoy that. I like the writing part of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I saw you post a lot of stuff about food. Are you teaching cooking classes?
I'm doing a few cooking classes. Yeah. So I'm actually doing one next week at a local cooking store here. So that'll be my second class.
You do. So what do these classes entail?
So basically, I just cook and I kind of just explain what I'm doing and all that. And this particular store actually has a cool setup. So they have like a kitchen set almost, and people just kind of sit around it's like a bar top counter. And there's actually a camera that points down at like the stove top and part of the cooking surface. So and then there's a TV so people can like actually see
what you're doing,
what I'm doing.
Well, that's cool.
And I talk, and it's very intimate and very kind of casual. So I kind of explain what I'm doing, show what I'm doing, give them a recipe to take home, and then everybody gets to try the food. So
that's cool.
It's fun.
What would you call the people that look at you? Would you call them students or just audience?
Yeah, just like an audience.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do they seem like they engage?
Yeah.
All right.
Ask questions. Granted, cool. The first class I did, it was several of my friends. So.
Okay. How was that? Was you nervous?
It was fun. I was a little nervous, but I kind of got over it.
Because I imagine you cooking something and you think it's good.
Right. I was a little bit afraid about that. But my husband always tells me I'm a good cook, but then again, I was still like, well, maybe he's just saying that. Yeah. He's just used to it. Right. But I've cooked for other friends and stuff, and they've said it's it's good. So the cooking class went well. Everybody seemed to like it.
I feel like you'd be nervous about the appearance of it. Like you would want some Food Network-esque.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
What I was most nervous about is my timing. I'm not really good. Like when I'm cooking something in the kitchen, it's very hectic.
Yeah.
Especially if it's something big and elaborate. It's like things are flying around. I'm trying to pull things out of the oven and off the stove and do so that's what I was nervous about, is trying to get that as organized as possible so I didn't burn anything or ruin anything. But I think it went pretty well.
Why don't you go on Chop?
Oh no.
On Food Network.
I can't really do anything like, I say this, probably shouldn't say this, but I don't really I'm not good at like original recipes.
Okay.
At like coming up with stuff.
Okay.
I sort of am, like really basic stuff that I think is super basic, that people are like, oh, give me the recipe, and I'm like, what recipe? Like, it's just scrambled eggs.
Right.
Stuff. Like, it's pretty, but I guess I don't think of that as something that I need a recipe for, but maybe some, obviously like other people do need recipes for things I think are simple, so.
I can't do anything.
Yeah. I'm trying to experiment a little more and actually do some. So this weekend I have some different ingredients, and I kind of have some ideas in my head just to do a few original
What's the most
dishes.
Elaborate thing you've done?
The most elaborate thing?
Yeah.
I cooked a huge beef tenderloin for Christmas a couple years ago. Yeah. This was 2 or 3 years ago, like 3 years ago. So before I was really like
into it.
I'm definitely better now than I was.
Okay.
The tenderloin was good. It was definitely stressful though because it was Christmas, and I made it was like a gorgonzola cream sauce, and I was worried about it. It's gorgonzola cheese and cream, and I was worried about the cream curdling and all this.
So you had to make your own cheese?
No, I didn't make my own cheese. I made my own sauce.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but see, when you boil cream to thicken the sauce, sometimes the cream, if you let it boil too much, it'll curdle. Okay. You don't want that. It's chunky. So that was a little stressful. I don't really make things like that anymore, though. I don't make cream sauces and stuff like that, but I do like a big hunk of meat.
Yeah.
I do pork tenderloins a lot. I have a really handy meat thermometer that goes in the oven.
Right.
So it just tells me when it's done, which is amazing. I tell everybody they need one.
What is there any quick tips you can give somebody on how to, if they feel like they're not healthy enough, what's the quickest thing, what's some basic things to get healthier? So to improve
their diet.
Yeah.
So focus on adding things instead of taking away things. There are certainly some things you could take away if you eat processed foods, sugary foods, sodas in excess. You should definitely rein those in.
Yeah.
But then focus on adding things like vegetables, good protein, fruits, because that way you're focusing on adding a food and instead of having something taken away.
What's a good protein?
It's all good. I mean, chicken, beef, pork, all of it. I eat all of it. A lot of people think, you can only eat chicken and tuna fish, but
right.
I eat all meat.
Because I was talking to the director that we have now, and he was saying that no red meat. How you feel about that?
I eat red meat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't eat it. Again, anything in excess is bad.
Okay.
Eating chicken every single day could be bad. I mean, for one thing, you'll get sick of it. Unless you just really love it, maybe you won't get sick of it. Most of us will get sick of it. I think anything in excess is bad.
Okay.
I do eat red meat. I ate some red meat earlier this week, but then I probably won't have any red meat
for the rest of the week.
Yeah, or maybe Sunday or something. Because I did have it for a couple meals, back to back. And the thing with meat too is the source is super, super important. I know people always, talk about grass-fed and pasture, but it really is it does make a difference. So because if you think about, if you're eating a fatty piece of meat, like a ribeye or a pork shoulder that has, a lot of fat on it, if that meat is grass-fed or pastured, that fat on that meat is actually really nutritious. It's a really nutritious, good source of healthy fat.
Right.
If that is factory farmed meat, either beef or pork, that fat is where all those chemicals are going to go.
Right.
All those bad chemicals from the factory farming are all going to go into that fat, so then you would want to cut that fat off.
Right.
It's not nutritious. So that's kind of, I think, where it gets a bad rap. And also, as when we were growing up, in the 90s, I mean, fat was totally villainized.
Right.
Everything was fake butter, non-fat, low fat, and now people are finally, science is realizing, oh wait, fat's actually pretty good for you.
Kind of need that.
Healthy fats.
Healthy fats, yeah.
Healthy fats, avocado, olive oil, olives, and then healthy, good meats, good quality meats.
What's your guilty pleasure? What is something that you eat a lot that you probably shouldn't be eating?
That I eat a lot?
I mean, that you would.
I don't.
That if it's on the table, gotta have that.
Ooh, so, pizza.
Oh, yeah.
I really love pizza.
Every day.
I have gotten better though.
Okay.
So I did this thing called the Whole 30. This is probably taking your podcast in a direction.
That's
you're
fine with me.
Oh my God, what's she talking about?
Let's drive.
But it's called the Whole 30, and I'm super obsessed with this program.
Okay.
So it's 30 days of no sugar, grains, dairy, legumes, alcohol. Okay. So it is strictly meat, seafood, fruits, and vegetables.
Okay.
But the idea, there's science behind it. It is science.
Okay.
It is based in pure facts and research and everything.
Okay.
Because some of these foods, for instance, gluten or dairy, there's certain properties to it that can cause inflammation. So a lot of us live in a state where we're always tired. We have aches and pains. We don't sleep very well. We're moody and irritable. And a lot of people live like that and think it's normal. I I was having the same thing. I thought it was normal. I was always pretty tired, didn't have a lot of energy or motivation. But it starts like with the food we eat.
Right.
And so the idea is to get rid of all those triggers for 30 days, and you start to feel the difference. I mean, the inflammation goes away. You can sleep better at night. Like all those hormones and everything, they get all messed up when you eat too much like sugar, processed foods, all that. They start to regulate. Okay. And it's like life is just like, oh my God, this is what's normal. This is how I'm supposed to feel.
Every day.
Every day. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that was a huge turning point for me. And I did that like 6 weeks ago. Okay. Like I finished a couple, like 2 or 3 weeks ago.
And it's 30 days.
With my first one. Yeah.
30 days. So a month of just what?
So just like basically meat, seafood. And
vegetables?
And fruits and vegetables. Okay. And it's not a restrictive diet. Like it's restrictive in the sense that you can't eat those forbidden foods, but you can eat as much as you want. Like you got to eat till you're satiated. Right. You know, eating those healthy fats and enough protein and a good balance of carbs is going to make you feel full. You're not going to have those cravings for sugar. You know, your sugar dragon, as they call it, is going to be starved. And so, I mean, it was really, you know, obviously you should talk to a doctor before you start any sort of program. But I think it was definitely a turning point for me. But my issue has always been, like, binging. Like, when I eat pizza,
you I
got to eat, like, the whole pizza. Yeah. That's the hardest part for me. And so that's kind of what I'm personally trying to address.
I think it was on the internet or maybe it was on TV, is that when we see food that is not consumed, it does something to our brains that makes us say we have to finish this whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
I believe that.
Yeah.
Well, the problem is if you're eating something like pizza that is a lot of like processed, you know, high carb, trans fats, all that, it's messing with your stomach and your head. So your stomach and your head aren't, like, the signal from your stomach to your brain that says I'm full isn't getting there. It's being blocked because of just all this, you know, inundation of those carbs and sugar and all that. And this is, I mean, there's a much more scientific explanation.
Right.
This is all just what I've like comprehended from reading. I'm no expert by any means if I got something wrong.
We're no scientists here.
Yeah. Somebody tell me if I got something a little wrong.
Right. So what are you drinking during this 30 days? Just water?
Yeah, water.
Okay.
But I've always been a water drinker.
Yeah.
I mean, I like wine, too.
Yeah.
I don't really drink much else these days.
I don't, I drink juice. I know I shouldn't, but I'm addicted. I drink a lot of Powerades.
Yeah.
It's a lot of sodium.
A lot of sugar.
But they're so delicious. And it's just just do it for me.
I know. You got to break it. And it's hard. So I will say, like, the whole 30 is hard. I mean, the first, you know, they break it down for you, too. If you it's a free program. It's online. It's just whole30.com, I think. Yeah, it's .com. And they tell you, like, each day, like, this is probably how you're going to feel and why. You know, so, like, the first few days, you might really feel like crap. Because especially if you ate a whole bunch of crap right before you started the whole 30, like, you're going to really feel it. And then there's this whole period, though, for like 10 days where they call it tiger blood. That you feel just so amazing that you're like, oh my God, this is like, I'm going to do this forever.
Who said that first? Tiger blood. Who's that guy?
That was Charlie Sheen.
Charlie Sheen. Yeah, when he had the world on fire for like 6 weeks or something.
Yeah, I can't even remember like how that started. I guess he was just on a bender or something.
Yeah, What was that time? What was that about?
I don't even remember something. I think there were some porn stars and yeah.
Man, it's just interesting how things go in and out of fashion. Like, this guy's cool for a week and then he's not.
Yeah.
Like,
trending.
He had the world on fire for a tiny period of time.
Yeah.
Even going on tour, just talking.
Bizarre. Yeah. I know. You're right. I do remember that.
Just going on tour, just talking. So, NFL's about to start. You are a big old football fan, right?
Yeah, not as much as I used to be. But
okay, why is that?
Well, you know, I used to do sports for like the first 3 years of my television career. And then, like, once I was done with sports, it was like I just stopped caring about sports.
Really?
I know, it was weird. It was very weird. I do love football season, though. It's just a great time in general. Right. It's fun. And I do enjoy watching football.
How do you feel about, because there's always these debates about PEDs, performance-enhancing drugs. How do you feel about that? Because, like, there's people who say that they should be in, like, baseball, particularly. Yeah. It should be in baseball to make it more fun, make more scoring, more home runs and stuff like that.
I think that's a cop-out.
I think that's stupid.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's a cop-out.
I hate that idea because I feel like athletes they're supposed to be the closest things that we have to superheroes.
Yeah.
Like, the point of sports is to see how far the human body can go naturally.
Yeah.
Like, the best of what we can do.
Right, I agree.
Without assistance.
Yeah.
So I don't like PEDs.
No, I don't either. Well, and encouraging an athlete to, like, take drugs that are potentially harmful to them is just, like, doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it's a silly argument. Another silly argument that has been going on that I'm surprised that it has so many views to the contrary is that rappers should write their own rhymes.
Yeah.
A lot of people say that people don't care.
A lot of people say they shouldn't, or that nobody cares.
A lot of people say that nobody cares.
Oh my gosh.
I can't. I hate it.
I hate rap music today.
Why is that?
Anything current, like I say anything current. Most of what I hear, like, on the radio or anything. Oh my god,
I agree with you.
Horrible.
I agree with you.
Horrible. Compared to what I was listening to in high school and what I still listen to now and what I like. I mean, it's like, but I was always, like, an old school fan too.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
Like, I was listening to, like, Eric B. and Rakim and stuff.
Really?
In college, yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah. Like, I love, like, Mos Def.
Yeah.
And Kid Cudi and people like that. I just, Jay-Z, of course.
Yeah.
The stuff now.
It's horrible.
I'll listen to, like, a few songs, like, when I'm working out and stuff, just because they're, like, those kind of, like, club songs that are just, like, kind of, the beats are good. Right. It's fun music.
Right.
But just to, like, listen to it, I'm like, oh my god.
I feel like there's a place for everything, and to call it, you can call it bad, but you have to call it art as well.
No, of course.
It's just bad art.
Yeah, it just makes me sad that it's like what people it's obviously what people want to hear because it's on top 40 radio stations. And that's what, like, really depresses me.
Yeah.
Like, and I feel like an old lady because I'm like,
I know.
Today.
I know.
But it really does make me kind of depressed to hear.
I don't want to say his name, but your former partner at the station, the tall guy.
Yeah.
He is always whipping and nay-naying.
Yeah.
And he's 30 years old, and I want to choke him.
Oh.
I love him. I love him to death.
He likes to dance, though.
Yeah.
He has that dance background.
Yeah. But this...
I was actually... That song came on the radio the other day. When it first came out, I was like, oh, that's kind of a fun song to, like, listen to. And then when it was on the other day, and I really, like, listened. I was like, oh, wait, there are no words. And I was like, there are no actual lyrics in this song. Right. He's just bossing me around. Right. This guy is just telling me what to do right now. Right. Like, what? Like, how is this? I mean, it's a fun club song, but it's like...
Yeah. There's no substance to it.
I don't know. There's
no substance to it.
I don't understand it.
What's the best album you've gotten? In any genre?
Yeah.
And what is the most disappointed you've been? Like, I'm so excited, I'm going to purchase this album, and I am upset by my choice.
I'm trying to think. Oh, that's a hard one. I might have to, like, look through my iTunes library real quick.
That's all right.
So I know, like, one of my favorite albums of all time is The Blueprint.
Okay, really?
That's definitely one of my...
That's dope.
That's one of my favorites of all time. There have definitely been a few, like, disappointments, I think.
Yeah.
There was a Common album that came out a few years ago.
UMD? Ultra? No.
It was like very, like, electronic.
Yeah.
I didn't really care for that.
Universal Mind Control.
That's exactly what it was. I do remember being disappointed by that. Yeah. That one sticks out in my head.
In his discography is probably the most thoroughly panned album of his.
Yeah.
The most disappointed I've ever been by an album I was excited for, that I was, like, excited, like, I'm going to the CD store to get this album, was Wiz Khalifa's Rolling Papers.
Yeah.
I've never been that disappointed in my life by an artist. Yeah. Because, like, he was, like, this was at his ascent.
Right.
And I heard his mixtapes, and like, they really good, and I heard them from Currency's albums, mixtapes and stuff like that. And I'm like, this guy's he's gonna be the next superstar. And so I got Rolling Papers. And I'm like, I listened to it a few times. I'm like, this is not for me.
Yeah.
This is.
I think and there are also a couple albums like Magna Carta, Holy Grail.
Yeah.
And then like the one with Kanye, Watch the Throne.
Right.
Those two are albums that like I played on repeat for like 3 weeks when they first came out. Yeah. But they're not ones I go back to all the time. Right. Like the Blueprint and like some of those other ones I go back to all the time.
That's what determines a classic.
Yeah.
For most people.
Exactly. Yeah. For sure.
Even if it's bad music, if you can go back to it. That's what I'm thinking. Like the music I like is older than me. Yeah. The people are like 50. Yeah. Like I'm a huge Wu-Tang Clan fan. Yeah. And they are
I
all...
heard you talking about that. Yeah.
Right. I appreciate it.
They're old dudes.
Yeah, they're all... The youngest one is Method Man. Method Man is 45, I think.
Yeah.
And, but they made something 20 years ago or 25 years ago. 93. It's about 22 years ago now. And it's a class. You can play it today. Yeah. And, like, you're not like, there was a... Like Mobb Deep, Prodigy had a lyric in his song talking about the Genesis. We're not buying Genesis anymore. Yeah. But everything else can still be, you can still appreciate it today. Yeah, for sure. You're not listening to Whippin' Nae Nae 20 years from now.
No, you're not.
You will, as a joke. Yeah. Like, this is what you was listening to, Daddy? This is what, not me, son.
Just like you'll listen to, like, the Tootsie Roll.
Right. Yeah.
Or like Quad City DJs now. Like, you'll listen to them as like, listen to this funny song.
Yeah. Back in the day, we used to embarrass ourselves by shaking a leg to this. Yeah. Man, like, because I play music during downtime at the station. Sometimes. Yeah. And I'll play it. Because I honestly don't know. I mean, I'm aware of stuff. Because, like I said, I love hip hop. Yeah. I'm aware of stuff that's going on right now, but I don't know what's good. Right. Like, if I was I'll be a terrible DJ right now.
Yeah. I'm always like the worst DJ for a party. Right. Because I always want to play the weird ass random songs that I like that I think everybody should like. And everyone's like, what are we listening to?
This is boring.
I'm like, it's so stuff. Isn't it great? I love this song.
This is respiration.
Yeah, everyone's looking at me like I'm crazy.
And so I play what I think, because I work with a bunch of women. So I'm thinking I'll play what I think they might like Young Thug and stuff like that. And I was looking on YouTube and scrolling through seeing what I was going to play next, and I played. And so Crank That is almost 10 years old.
Really?
2006.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's funny. Yeah.
That's like that came and went. Yeah.
That was sort of like the beginning of like some of these just bad.
He was the genesis of it. I think it's good because especially for me, because I want to make music, I want to put it out. Yeah. The ease of it, but it also makes it bad because there's so much.
It's inundated. Yeah. Yeah. The market is just flooded.
Yeah, and I don't really care if anybody important ever hears my music. I mean, it'd be cool. Yeah. But it's just like people like I tell people like listen to this and they've heard it 1,000 times. They haven't heard it. They've heard it from other people. Please listen to my song and it's trash. Please listen to my song and it's garbage.
I listened to yours. It's great.
I appreciate it. Yeah. You are sweet.
I could tell a difference between like something that you would be doing compared to like. I mean, not that anybody else has ever handed me their mixtape, but
I remember I was with my roommate one time and we was in the mall. And this guy stopped him and asked him to buy his mixtape for $10. Whoa! And he did it because we was in a rap group at the time, and he appreciated the hustle, and he bought it, and it was horrible. It was really bad.
Do you like Jurassic 5?
I do. I don't like him as much. As I feel like I should. I
like some of their stuff. I don't like all of it. There were some of your songs kind of reminded me of like some of their better songs.
Okay, that's cool.
A little bit.
The things I don't like about Jurassic 5 is when they would have like this barbershop quartet thing. Yeah. That's the only thing I don't like about it. I think like you should like, since it's a big group, they all have short verses. Yeah. But have separate verses. Right. But that makes them unique too, though.
Yeah, they're different.
I like hip hop so much that I listen to Japanese rap.
Really?
When I was in college, my freshman year in college, my senior year in high school, this girl put me on some Japanese rap.
That's cool.
And she sent me some stuff through MySpace, and
showing your age.
Yeah, I'm an old fella, and she sent me some stuff through MySpace, a group called M-Flow, and then I heard about the Teriyaki Boys and Rip Slime. And I love them. I like that's thing. Like,
that's cool.
I can't understand.
Yeah.
It, but you can feel it.
It sounds good.
Yeah. I mean, it could be saying anything. And then I'll go look at the lyrics.
Like when I listen to NWA, it's like I shouldn't. I mean, they're talking about like really vulgar, like what a lot of people think are offensive things.
Right.
I'm not offended.
Right.
But it's like, should I be? Like, I don't. It's like I just like it because it means something.
Right.
Like it comes from a time of like social change and it's a voice. And like I think that's why I like rap music in general. Because I feel like a lot of it means
it should mean something.
Yeah, it should. Like the stuff I like, it has like a message, like it means something.
That goes back to the point that we was talking about before. Like it doesn't mean like maybe I'm just not part of this generation. Like can you say it doesn't matter who wrote the song?
Right. It does.
It does matter because if I'm saying it, it should have come from my experience.
Yeah.
Like like Dr. Dre. I mean, like.
But nowadays, like the actual content, like the lyrical content of music is just it's the same.
Right.
Over and over again. It is about money, cars, and women.
Right.
And that is like literally it. Like nobody actually has any sort of like story they're really telling.
Right, good point.
Like about their past, So
I guess if there's no story, then it's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess. But like
just a bunch of posers.
But you can't it's just like food. You can't live on cake your whole all day.
I know.
You just can't. Like you get sick of it.
Yeah.
I want to if you're listening to Silento and Young Thug and stuff like that, and like not even Young Thug, like there's some stuff that I can't understand them most of the time, but there's some things that is really really good from him. But like stuff like the kid stuff.
Yeah.
Like that can't be your entire playlist on your phone. It just, like personally, if you're a DJ, I understand. Yeah. Because you got to play for what people want to hear. But when you're home alone, what are you listening to?
Yeah.
And my philosophy was always that even if it's garbage, even if you can't rhyme at all, you should be proud of what you're writing.
Yeah, for sure.
Even if it's terrible, you should be proud of what you're writing and say that I wrote that.
It is mine. Yeah.
Because it came from me.
Yeah.
It came from my heart and my brain.
Exactly.
The stuff that Lizzie is referring to that she said that she liked from me is my mixtape that I gave her. I don't own the beats, and I don't claim to own the beats. I've never made a dime on any of the mixtapes. I hope to make money on my common stuff that I made, the beats that I've made and stuff like that. But I didn't make a dime on any of those mixtapes. But the lyrics are mine.
Yeah.
I'm proud of those lyrics. The beats are not, the lyrics are mine.
Yeah.
I just need, because it's like art, like I needed a vessel, because I wasn't making beats at the time. I needed something to let me get it out.
Yeah. Well, I could tell too, just like immediately, like from your lyrics, that it was you. Yeah. Like it wasn't somebody else.
Right.
It was you. Like what you were rapping about, your style, like it was just purely you.
Somebody wrote Puff Daddy's tribute to B.I.G. How can you do that? How can that happen? Like your best friend passes away.
Right, and you can't even like take the time to write something down.
But
that just shows you like he's not a writer.
Right.
I mean, he's a performer.
Right. But if you feel that way, you don't even have to rap. You could just say it. You could have just said like I miss my friend. I love him. I wish he was here. Yeah. It's a shame how he went and that he went.
Yeah.
You don't have to make a song about it.
Right. That's true.
Especially if you're not writing it.
Right.
Well,
making money.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what it, Yeah. To a lot of people, that's what it's all about.
But yeah, man, it's a passion. I love doing it, and like I love doing this. Like I was telling you before we started, I don't care if I make a dime off this. I want to do it. Hopefully I make some money off of it. It's ice on the cake, but I'm going to keep doing it.
That's great.
That's
what you have to have, that passion, whatever it is.
Yeah. I knew that's what, like, when we was talking about, people was just saying, like I feel like they're telling me that I work in a coal mine as a broadcaster. Like why did you make this mistake getting this degree?
I know.
And I'm like, there's people like Robin Roberts. Went to Southeastern.
Yeah.
She didn't go to Harvard.
Right.
Or Princeton.
Right.
And she is a millionaire.
Oh yeah.
So it's possible.
Oh yeah.
You just gotta work. You gotta work, and you gotta be good at what you do.
You do, yeah.
And I just feel like people that say that, I just feel like they just got jaded.
Yeah.
Or maybe they just never liked it.
Maybe, yeah.
Like a director we had previously, back in the day, he was like, we was talking about the station where because we grew up far away, like 2 hours away.
Yeah.
And the reporter, the anchor of the station where we grew up at, we was debating, like, do you think she really likes what she does? I'm like, of course. Like, why would she do it if she didn't like it? And she was like, some people just do jobs just to make money.
That's true.
But, like, I mean...
A job like that, though, in TV, you have to like it.
Right.
I mean,
It's not like we work...
When you get to a certain point, you might just be coasting along and comfortable where you are and all that. But to get to a higher level, you have to like it. And I, as someone who did it and then doesn't, and now doesn't do it...
Right.
I get why people do it and why they love it.
Right.
I just didn't love it like that.
Right.
So it's like to say, oh, I can't believe you would ever like that. Or that's just kind of strange.
Yeah. Like we had an intern. We had an intern come in, and there was like, what is like the basic thing? Kind of like I was asking you about with fitness. What's the basic thing you can do to get into the business? And 2 guys said, don't.
I feel like that's...
It's a very pessimistic view.
I know, and I feel like that's what a lot of seasoned veterans sometimes just say off the cuff, like, they're instinctual whatever, but I don't think they mean that.
Right.
Not some people might.
Yeah.
I think some people don't really mean that, though. I think some people just like to say, don't get into this business,
There's a lot.
But I don't think they necessarily always mean it.
I knew that
sometimes though,
from a long time ago, as a kid. I knew I wanted to be on TV. I wanted to touch the people. I wanted to make people. I always said I want to make people laugh and clap their hands. That's all I want to do in my life. I just want to inspire people, and be like, and make my schools proud, make my high school and my university proud. Like, Glenn went there. I want to go there. Yeah. So that's why I'm on this path, and it's hard. Yeah, it's hard. But I like what I do.
I envy people with your kind of passion for something. I think
but you got it.
It's amazing.
You got it for what you're doing.
I think I do.
Yeah.
It's just I go about things in a different way. I'm held back by fear a lot and doubt.
How do you overcome that?
So I feel like you're not overcome by it. You're not.
I mean, I fight doubt all the time.
Really?
Yeah, all the time.
Yeah.
Like, can I do this?
Yeah.
I know it's going to be hard, and I know it's going to be hard. Do I have the patience? Am I brave enough to leave Louisiana? I want to leave Louisiana.
Yeah.
But because I've grown up here. I want to see the world. I want the whole world in my hands. I want to see every part of it, and I know that if I want to make it in this business, I'm gonna have to leave.
Right.
But yes, I say that. Am I really brave enough to do it? I have to be.
Yeah.
But what's the natural progression for you? What do you want to? Where do you want to take this? If not on TV, which it should be on TV, I think.
I don't know. My biggest thing is just educating people on nutrition and fitness. But part of it too is me learning more. Okay. Because I definitely don't know everything.
Right.
I know more than some people, but I feel like I still have a lot to learn. So for me, it's kind of like this constant quest to just learn more and then be able to share that with other people. I
feel like that's part of the fun of it, right?
It is,
the journey of learning.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And it's just like always evolving too. And, I eventually would like to do, my own thing. And
you think you might want to start your own gym?
I think eventually, I'd like to.
That'd be cool.
I've always said that I want a place. So a big thing for me too is getting women into weightlifting.
Okay.
A lot of women think if you lift weights, you're going to look like a dude.
That was one of your last few packages, right?
Yeah. And that's crap. Like, you're not going to look like a dude. You don't have enough testosterone.
Right.
You know, like, unless you take hormones, maybe you will. And if you do a certain type of workout, your muscles will grow. But you can also train for strength.
Right.
And your muscles won't necessarily grow that big, but you'll be strong.
Yeah.
And that is just incredibly beneficial. It gets, it takes the place of body fat. It makes you more like metabolic, like you're burning more calories just at rest. I mean, there's so many benefits. It protects your bones and all this. And it's like, but women still just think. So I ideally would love to like open a gym, maybe like an all women's gym. Yeah. Maybe for guys too, but just a place where like they can come and like lift some heavy weights, throw heavy weight around without any intimidation and not be nervous about what the guys are doing or what so and so is doing. Just like some place to just sort of allow that. And I joked with my friends. I said, like, and whenever you get like a PR, you get like a glass of champagne and a cupcake or something. We were laughing about that because that's, as girls, that's kind of like, oh, champagne and cupcakes, you know. So cool. Eventually that's kind of what I would like to do. And just really educating more on the nutrition part of it is what people really need these days. I think cool. Just everybody.
So what's the most criminal thing you think people are like promoting in terms of health and fitness that shouldn't be promoted? Is there anything like that? Like these...
the quick fixes.
Yeah.
Okay. The quick fixes, the detoxes, the 30-day squat challenge for a great butt, all this. It's like, yes, doing squats for 30 days is great. Like, that's a great start, but it's not going to make you look like J-Lo.
No.
I mean, if you're eating McDonald's still, like, it's not... Yeah, definitely the quick fixes. Just, I mean, we live in such a world of instant gratification that, fitness is so different.
They want to be where they want to be
instantly,
like that.
Within 30 days or 14 days or whatever the case may be. And that is just a horrible way to just view it. You have to view it as your life.
How do you rationalize that? How do you say it's not, like, because like what we were talking about before about goals, it's not going to be easy. Right. How do you train yourself and how do you educate people to lower that?
So it's all about setting the small goals first. Okay. And it's all about relating to them too. Like, hey, I struggle with this too. Yeah. You aren't the only one. Lots of people struggle with this. You definitely are not the only one. And then setting like smart, attainable goals, just one at a time. Like you can't say, okay, maybe your large goal is to lose 50 pounds. But you can't just have that as your only goal. You can't say, I'm just going to lose 50 pounds in 6 months. It has to be, I'm going to lose 10 pounds in the first month. Okay. Or I'm going to run a 5K. I'm going to lift this much weight. Like, you have to set goals for yourself so you can actually, once you start to see progress, that's where people start to buy in and stick to it.
How do you feel about, since we're talking about fitness and food, what about old Jared Fogle?
Oh, God.
How about that?
That dude.
How about that fella?
So gross. I always have an issue too. So my husband always makes fun of me. Like whenever a commercial for like Subway or McDonald's or Coca-Cola or cereal, and whenever they're trying to say, oh, it's Diet Coke and it's now made with Splenda, or
as much calcium as a bowl of milk, as a glass of milk,
or like, oh, the cereal has whole grain, and then, oh, wheat bread and great natural chicken, and I scream at the television. And I'm just like, lies! You're all liars! My husband's just like, oh my God. I cannot stand it because it is the biggest crock of shit. Am I allowed to say shit on the podcast?
Yes, absolutely, okay. Please.
It is the biggest crock of shit. And it's like, this is what is wrong with America. This is why we, 60% of us are overweight. A third are obese. It is dangerous. Yeah. I mean, it is killing people. I mean, now you got me on my soapbox. And so, obviously with Jared, his whole issue is just he's a despicable human.
I've heard conflicting stories. Is it his stuff?
I heard today.
Or is it his
I heard on the radio today
stuff?
he pled guilty to having adult relations with, I think it was like 2 16-year-olds.
Wow.
And then he pled guilty to some sort of possession of child pornography. Wow. Yeah. He's a dog.
Okay.
Yeah. And so I think it carries a minimum 5 years.
I'm sorry to hear that. He's a terrible person if it's true.
Yeah.
But
it was a good story. He had a good story. Like,
it looked friendly.
That was great that he lost weight and everything, even though Subway it's not really that great for you.
No.
But you have to start somewhere.
Right.
At least he lost the weight. But now he's just gonna rot in jail.
Yeah.
Well, I say rot, 5 years.
Yeah.
Or 12, I think, is the max.
Man,
the
that's
memes
crazy.
And everything on Twitter.
Yeah.
So they're like, "Oh, Jared, I got your foot long,"
Oh,
in prison. They do not treat child molesters very well in prison.
They don't treat in the prison of social media and public opinion.
Yeah, that too.
You won't get slandered.
Well, and then the Duggar kid too.
Yeah.
How many kids and counting?
19?
50 kids and counting.
Yeah, up there.
Yeah. Ashley Madison. At least he admitted that he is a big old hypocrite.
Right.
He said, "I am the biggest hypocrite."
Yeah. He's just trying to save as much face as he can.
Oh, of course, yeah.
There was a story about Whole Foods and how they're overcharging.
Yeah.
How you feel about that? How you feel about Whole Foods in general?
I shop there.
Okay.
In terms of meat prices, yes, they're more expensive, but for me, it's an important. I sacrifice other places to be able to afford better quality meat because that's just something that's personally important to me. In terms of produce, most of their product, their produce is really pretty reasonably, comparably priced to other major grocery stores in our area. So it's I don't really have an issue with that. Now, if you're getting into their prepared foods and their, dry goods, a lot of that. But I think the problem is, too, a lot of people go to Whole Foods and they're like, "Oh, wow, look at all this fancy stuff." And so they buy all of it, and then they're, shocked when their bill is $300.
Right.
I'm like, if you're just going to get into your meat and vegetables, it's not going to be that outrageous. But I didn't read too much in detail about that whole thing. I know it was something about they were overcharging on some of their, I think it was their prepackaged goods were being mislabeled.
Right.
I never really could figure out if it was was it on purpose or was it an oversight?
I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I couldn't.
I just knew that people was up in arms about it.
Oh, for sure, yeah. Well, I think they handled it well. They accepted responsibility and all that.
Yeah.
It's a shame it happened, but.
See, I'm glad you made that distinction because I wasn't even thinking that. If you want quality meat, you should go to Whole Foods.
Yeah.
And places like that.
Go to the farmers market.
Yeah.
I try to go to the farmers market as much as I can.
They have meat at the farmers market?
Mm-hmm. They have a couple farmers that have pastured pork.
Okay.
And several that have grass-fed beef and then chicken, pastured chicken. There's even some great local farmers that actually have their own tilapia farm.
Really?
Yeah, they have built, and I've actually been there. I did a story with them once.
Okay.
And they actually built their very own tank. And I know farm-raised tilapia gets a really bad rap in industrial farms, but so in this setting, it's not the crazy gross stuff that's happening in the big industrial farms. In the small farm setting, it's safe and
that's good.
And it's better for you, but it's pretty neat the way they just engineered this whole system for these fish. So
that's cool.
And they do all of it, all the meat processing themselves on the farm. All of it, harvest, everything, which I think is pretty neat.
That's awesome.
And to me, the important part, with food, is people always complain about real food being more expensive. In a lot of cases, it is, but that's because people aren't buying it as much as they should.
Right.
So if we speak with our dollars and start buying these farm fresh, responsibly raised meats and vegetables and things, then the prices will go down. But if we continue to spend money on crap, processed foods, and the corporations that make that food are getting huge tax breaks and subsidies from the government too. And so that's the farmers, your neighborhood farmers, are not getting any of that help.
Right.
So their stuff has to be more expensive. They have to make a living.
They're pretty much forced to grow corn for high fructose corn syrup.
Yeah, exactly. The big farms are like, well, sure, I'll grow it for you if you're going to give me all this money.
Yeah, right.
And they're getting super rich, but these neighborhood local farmers are not. They're not rich. You may think they charge too much for produce, but it's not because they're trying to make a whole lot of money. They're just trying to live, and support their families and stuff.
Right.
So I think we have to speak with our dollars. And vote with our dollars.
I agree.
When it comes to food.
And
it's hard though.
Before we go, I want to ask you one more thing.
I know, sorry Glenn, I'm kind of rambling.
No. This is the way you ramble. This is a podcast. We talk about what we want to talk about. And for how long? I mean, we're at hour 5 right now.
Oh, okay.
And
I do have to scoot soon.
Okay.
Gotta go teach my class.
All right. Awesome. Yeah. Awesome. Oh, what time you gotta do that?
It's at 6:30, but I gotta get across town.
Okay. How do you feel about Donald Trump?
Oh, I hate him.
And his but he's in his rise to stardom.
Oh my God, I can't. I'm so embarrassed. I'm so embarrassed that he is the front runner. Like
right.
How? I mean, oh my God.
I don't think he's the front runner of just the Republicans. I think he's the front runner for the entire presidency.
The more people I hear go, I kind of like him. I just want to slap him. I mean, he's a very smart businessman. Right. He's obviously made billions and billions of dollars. Right. He obviously knows what he's doing in business. Do I think he's fit to run the country? No. Do I think he's a misogynist asshole?
Yeah.
Yes. I don't think he...
You think he's promoting himself or he's just playing himself up, his character up?
He's done this for years, though. Yeah. I actually came across an article right before I came in here about some comments he's made about women over the years, since the 90s.
Right.
And it's pretty despicable.
Yeah.
It's like, you look at, I also had read an article about, NWA and hip-hop's kind of general history of
misogyny.
Yeah. Okay. But it's like, and then you look at what Donald Trump's doing is no different than that. Right. It is the same. I mean, it's totally different groups, but it's the same thing.
It's not autistic.
Yeah, exactly. It's just him being a jerk.
Right.
It's like how he truly feels.
Yeah.
Like in his head,
What's the one that stuck out the most to you? You remember?
Oh, what he did say was that female journalists were only successful if they were pretty. that was one of them. Yeah.
How you feel about that?
That one stuck out to me.
How you feel about that?
I mean, I don't think that's necessary. I mean, no, I don't think that's true. I don't think that... I do think that, yes, your looks have something to do with it, but that's for men too.
Yeah.
I mean, in television. Yeah. I mean, when you're at that level, yes, it does. And you have to be presentable.
Right.
I mean, you could be not super attractive, but as long as you present yourself well and professionally.
Yeah. Because we were talking about doubts before, and I feel like I'm not tall enough to be on TV.
That's not true.
I appreciate that, Liz. You're so sweet.
That's what, look at one of our local weathermen.
Yeah.
That's what the boxes are for.
Good point.
You know about those.
Good point. Yeah, I know all about those boxes.
Yeah.
I hadn't thought about that.
Little secret weapons.
Yeah. I brought Donald Trump up because I'm looking on Twitter at the trending topic. You heard about these nuts?
No.
That sounds weird on a podcast, just audio. There's no context. Hey, have you heard about these nuts? No, these nuts is apparently there was a poll, and it said Hillary Clinton, Donald Trump, and these nuts.
Oh, God.
And these nuts got 9% of the vote.
Yeah. Was it like a joke poll?
No, apparently it was real. It was a real thing. I can't remember
who.
They found out now that they're discovering it's a 15-year-old kid who I don't know how he got it in there. How he got into this little poll, this. I guess it was a.
It's on a website or something.
Yeah, it was on the news. It was on the news at this channel. I don't know what channel it was.
Okay.
But I guess there was some kind of if you had to vote today, the election, and it was just Hillary and Donald Trump, and somebody put these nuts in there.
That's so funny.
And he got 9% of the vote. And so Twitter took to it, and it's these nuts 2016.
Yeah. Yeah.
You see, I'm about to drag my laptop.
Oh man. Oh, that's funny. Yeah.
You see,
that's
Hillary Clinton 38%, Donald Trump 40%.
Oh, look, is that Charlie Sheen?
Yeah.
That kind of looks, yeah.
Yeah, it's Charlie Sheen.
Oh, that's funny, yeah.
Charlie Sheen These Nuts latest to star in offbeat poll questions. I don't know why they got Charlie Sheen in. But it came
That's funny.
It came from this internet guy named Welvin, who was recorded making a prank phone call, and he said, "These nuts, ha, got him." Remember that?
No.
You never heard that?
I don't remember that.
Yeah, well, like it's fairly recent.
I remember like Ludacris and his records. That was one in high school. That word of mouth was one of my favorites. Jam to when I was 16.
That's awesome.
It was
But yeah, so
that's
like
what that makes me think of.
This Vine guy, this guy on Vine.
Oh, okay.
Like his friend taped him making a prank phone call.
Yeah.
And the end of the joke was, "These nuts, ha, got him," because he's mentally handicapped.
Oh, okay.
And now he's a superstar.
Yeah.
Because of Twitter and Instagram and Vine.
Yeah.
Now he's a superstar. Now he's going around the country getting like 40,000 just to walk in the club.
Good for him.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So, how about we end on this? How you feel about Vine stars? Like people who make like a 15-second thing just being silly and now they're superstars. At least for 6 months.
Yeah. I mean
6 or 7 months.
It's funny to watch, but
yeah.
I think it's kind of weird.
I feel like what my biggest fear on that is that people are going to just do something crazy just to get it, just to get some kind of attention.
Absolutely. I feel like people already do that.
Right.
You know?
Right.
I mean, I feel like they already do.
And that's the worst thing about rap music. You know, I think like rap music now, I feel like it's going to a place where you're not doing it for the art. You're doing it because it makes money.
Yeah, for the sensational.
Right. You don't care about what you're saying.
Right.
That's why you don't care who's writing it.
Yeah.
Because you just care about the money.
Right.
It shouldn't be a business. It should be fun for you. It should be something you want to do.
I know it's unfortunate, but
that's how it is.
Yeah.
So how was this, Lizzie? Was it painful?
No,
Painless?
it was fun.
You know, would you want to do it again? Or?
Yeah.
All right, what you think, Liz? You think I got a future in this or what?
I think so.
I appreciate
You're good at this.
that.
You're a good interviewer.
Sweet.
You're good at moving the conversation along.
Sweet. So,
listening to my ramblings.
That's not, that's what it's about. And I don't think it was rambling. I think it was very educational. I think all the ladies should
You're
go.
You're an engaged interviewer.
Sweet.
Yeah.
That's what I want to be. I want to reach, touch the people, and then entertain.
That's awesome.
That's the goal. And if you're a lady out there, listen to what Lizzie's saying, and when Lizzie opens up that gym, you should go because she's gonna set you right.
Yeah, we're gonna have champagne and cupcakes for the opening.
Right.
Everyone's gonna have glittery weight belts and everything.
Sweet.
You know.
I'm gonna have one. I'm gonna have the first one.
Perfect.
I'm coming. All right, everybody. This has been episode 6 of the AquaMethod Podcast. I appreciate everybody listening. Follow me on Twitter at GrasshopperGP. YouTube. Well, you're obviously on YouTube right now, GrasshopperGP official, Bandcamp, GrasshopperGP. Just look me up. I'm all over the world. I have 130 followers, so I'm doing real big things. So let's get those followers up. Tell your friends about the AquaMethod Podcast. Share it, like it on Facebook, all that stuff. Spread it around. I want everybody listening. If you're a sponsor, you want me to get people to buy your product, just let me know. Shoot me an email. My email is gonna be at in the description below, so check that out. And that's it. Episode 6, AquaMethod Podcast. I'm rocking with my girl Lizzie, and we are out of here. Y'all be good.